Book name Really Sex Matters, which is written and published by Dr. Prashant. Overview. Really Sex Matters is a heartfelt and open exploration of the role that sex plays in our lives. Written in an approachable and easy-to-understand way, the book aims to strip away societal taboos and bring clarity to the emotional, physical, and intimate dimensions of sex. It doesn't rely on jargon or clinical language. Instead, it focuses on real, relatable experiences and insights that empower readers to build more fulfilling sexual relationships. Each chapter delves into different aspects of sex, including its emotional meaning, the ways to connect with a partner, and practical guidance on how to explore and express desire with sensitivity and confidence. Through stories, relatable advice, and practical tips, this book offers a guide to navigating sexual relationships in ways that deepen connection and enhance pleasure. Whether you're exploring your sexuality, looking to enrich your relationship, or seeking answers to personal questions, this book is for you. Chapter 1. What is sex and why we crave for it? Sex is one of the most profound experiences humans can share. It is a meeting of bodies, hearts, and minds that goes far beyond the physical act itself. The craving for sex is deeply embedded in who we are. It begins as an instinctive pull, a desire woven into our very nature, but its meaning expands with time and understanding. At its core, sex is about connection, a bridge that brings two people together in the most vulnerable and intimate way possible. When two people come together in a sexual union, they are doing more than just fulfilling a biological urge. They are seeking a sense of closeness that cannot be achieved in any other way. This desire for closeness is rooted in our need to feel wanted, valued, and loved. The touch of a lover's hands, the softness of their lips, the way their body moves in sync with yours, these are the moments when barriers fall away. In these moments, you are fully seen and accepted. For many, the craving for sex starts with attraction, a magnetic pull toward another person. The way someone looks at you, the sound of their voice, or the smell of their skin can spark a yearning that feels impossible to resist. This yearning isn't just about lust, it is also about curiosity. What would it feel like to kiss them? To feel their skin against yours? To hear their breath quicken in response to your touch? These questions ignite the imagination, feeding the desire to explore and connect. The allure of sex also lies in its ability to make us feel alive. It awakens sensations that are both primal and deeply emotional. The warmth of a partner's breath on your neck, the gentle caress of their fingers tracing your body, and the shared rhythm of passion create a symphony of pleasure that engages every sense. In these moments, nothing else matters. Worries fade, time slows, and the only reality is the connection between you and your lover. Sex is not just about pleasure, though that is undeniably a part of its appeal. It is also about trust and surrender. Allowing someone to see you in such an unguarded state requires a leap of faith. You are laying yourself bare, not just physically but emotionally. The vulnerability that comes with sex is both exhilarating and terrifying. But when that vulnerability is met with acceptance and affection, it creates a bond that is nearly unbreakable. The emotional craving for sex is often intertwined with the need for validation. To be desired by someone else is to feel a sense of worth. When a partner's eyes light up at the sight of you, when their hands can't resist exploring your curves, it affirms that you are beautiful, wanted, and enough. This validation can be incredibly empowering, boosting confidence and self-esteem in ways that ripple far beyond the bedroom. Sex also has a way of strengthening relationships. It acts as a form of communication that words can't replicate. A single night of intimacy can say, "I want you," "I trust you," or "I love you" in ways that are more powerful than any spoken phrase. It's in the way your bodies mold to one another, the way your kisses linger, and the way your hands hold tight even after the passion subsides. The craving for sex is also tied to its ability to provide comfort and healing. In moments of sadness, stress, or uncertainty, the embrace of a partner can feel like a safe haven. The act of making love becomes a way to reconnect, to reassure one another that you are not alone. The warmth of another person's body, the rhythm of their heartbeat against yours, and the shared release of tension create a sense of peace that words cannot convey. For some, the craving for sex is about exploration and adventure. It is a chance to discover new sides of themselves and their partner. Every touch, kiss, and whisper is an opportunity to learn what excites and delights the other person. This shared journey of discovery can be thrilling, deepening the bond between lovers as they unveil their desires together. Ultimately, the craving for sex is about more than just the act itself. It is about everything that surrounds it: the anticipation, the connection, the pleasure, and the aftermath. It is about the way it makes us feel alive, seen, and cherished. Whether it is a slow, tender encounter that leaves you feeling safe and loved, or a fiery, passionate moment that leaves you breathless and exhilarated, sex is a celebration of intimacy and human connection. Sex matters because it is one of the most intimate ways we can connect with another person. It fulfills a deep-seated need for closeness, affection, and validation. It allows us to express love, desire, and vulnerability in ways that words cannot. The craving for sex is not just about wanting another person, it is about wanting to feel alive, connected, and whole. When approached with openness, honesty, and care, sex becomes more than just an act. It becomes a language of love, a dance of intimacy, and a reminder of what it means to be human. Chapter 2: The Magic of Sexual Desire. Sexual desire is one of the most powerful forces within us. It's not just about the yearning for physical closeness. It's a fire that starts in the mind, spreads to the body, and transforms how we connect with someone. Desire is intoxicating, a pull that can make us feel alive, wanted, and deeply connected to another person. It's both mysterious and electric, a silent conversation between two souls that speaks volumes through glances, gestures, and the smallest of touches. Desire often begins subtly. It can be the way someone looks at you, their gaze lingering a little longer than usual, igniting a spark that sets your heart racing. It could be the way their voice dips when they talk to you, or how their body language shifts ever so slightly in your presence. These moments are small, almost imperceptible, but they carry an unmistakable charge. They build anticipation, teasing your senses and stirring emotions that you may not have even realized were waiting to be awakened. The beauty of sexual desire lies in how personal and unique it is for every individual. What arouses someone isn't just about physical attributes, it's about energy, chemistry, and the emotions evoked during a connection. Sometimes, desire is born out of shared laughter, the vulnerability of an intimate conversation, or the thrill of discovering a mutual interest. At other times, it's more primal, driven by the sight of a partner, the scent of their skin, or the sound of their breath when they are near. One of the most enchanting aspects of desire is the way it creates tension. Think of it as the stringing of a bow, each moment tightening the cord, making you ache for the release. A touch that lingers on your hand, the brush of lips so close they almost meet, or the sound of a voice that whispers promises yet to be fulfilled. These moments build anticipation, a delicious kind of torture that leaves you craving more. The magic is not in rushing to the end, but in savoring each second leading up to it. For many, the way desire manifests changes depending on the person or situation. In a new relationship, it might feel like an uncontrollable hunger, an urgency to explore and discover each other. In a more established connection, desire can take on a quieter, deeper form, simmering beneath the surface but just as potent. Both forms are beautiful in their own right, and each has the power to strengthen bonds and create unforgettable memories. Communication plays a key role in keeping desire alive and thriving. Expressing what you want, what excites you, and what makes you feel desired is crucial. Sometimes, a whispered confession of your fantasies can be the spark that rekindles passion. Sharing these vulnerable truths requires trust and openness, but when done with the right partner, it can lead to an even deeper intimacy. Equally important is recognizing and responding to your partner's signals. Desire is a two-way street, a dance where both people play their part. Learning to read their cues, the way their breath quickens, how their body responds to your touch, or the way they look at you when they're caught up in the moment, can guide you to create an experience that feels effortless and natural. When desire flows freely between two people, it becomes a language of its own, one that doesn't need words to express its intensity. Physical touch amplifies the magic of desire. A lingering caress on the back of the neck, a hand sliding across a hip, or even the simple act of holding someone close can awaken sensations that stir the soul. Skin is our largest sensory organ, and when touched in the right way, it becomes a canvas where passion is painted. Exploring your partner's body, finding the places that make them shiver with pleasure, and learning how to draw out their deepest responses is an art form that only grows richer with time and patience. Foreplay, too, is an essential element of desire. It's not just about preparing for what comes next, it's about building a connection that makes every moment feel electric. Kisses that start slow and grow more urgent, whispered words that tease and entice, and playful touches that explore and invite, all of these create an atmosphere where desire can thrive. Foreplay is an opportunity to show your partner that you're fully present, that your focus is entirely on them, and that their pleasure is your priority. The emotional side of desire is equally important. Feeling wanted and valued by your partner can make you more open and vulnerable, allowing desire to take hold more deeply. When someone shows you that they're captivated by you not just by your body but by your essence, it creates a powerful connection that heightens every touch, every kiss, and every shared moment. This emotional intimacy is what transforms desire from a fleeting spark into a lasting flame. Finally, it's essential to understand that desire ebbs and flows. Life stresses, routines, and challenges can dampen the fire, but that doesn't mean it's gone. Desire is resilient, waiting to be reignited through effort, attention, and a willingness to explore. Making time for intimacy, prioritizing moments of connection, and keeping curiosity alive are all ways to keep desire vibrant and alive. The magic of sexual desire lies in its ability to make us feel truly alive. It awakens not just the body but the soul, reminding us of the beauty of connection, the thrill of discovery, and the joy of being completely in the moment with someone we care about. By understanding and embracing desire, we can create experiences that are deeply fulfilling, leaving us both exhilarated and at peace, knowing we've shared something truly special. Chapter 3: Seduction in Sex, a Dance of Pleasure. Seduction is the unspoken language of desire, a dance that begins long before the first touch. It starts with a glance, a lingering moment of connection where words seem unnecessary because the spark in your eyes says everything. Seduction isn't just about the act of pursuing, it's about creating an atmosphere of irresistible allure, a feeling that builds anticipation and ignites a fire within both you and your partner. It is slow, deliberate, and deeply personal, a journey into intimacy that begins with intention and unfolds in ways both subtle and bold. Imagine a night when you've planned to make your partner feel truly wanted. You've put thought into the ambience, soft lighting, perhaps the warm flicker of candles, and music that stirs emotions without overwhelming the moment. These are not just decorations or background noise, they are invitations to relax, to feel special, and to let go of the outside world. This is where seduction begins, not with a grand gesture, but with the careful crafting of an environment where desire can bloom. Your first touch doesn't have to be overtly sexual. Sometimes the most seductive moves are the ones that speak volumes without screaming for attention. A brush of your fingers along her hand, a playful tug on her hair, or even an unexpected whisper close to her ear can send shivers down her spine. The secret lies in paying attention to her responses. Notice the way she leans into your touch or the soft hitch in her breath. These are the cues that guide you, showing you the path to her pleasure. Seduction thrives on confidence, but not the kind that demands attention or boasts loudly. True confidence comes from knowing your worth and showing it through your actions. When you approach your partner with assurance, every move feels deliberate and meaningful. It's in the way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, and the intensity of your gaze. Seduction is as much about how you make her feel as it is about what you do. When she feels desired and valued, she's more likely to open up, to trust, and to allow the moment to flow naturally. Physical closeness is a key part of seduction, but it doesn't have to be immediate or hurried. Let the anticipation build. Tease her senses with fleeting touches and playful gestures. A hand resting lightly on the small of her back as you guide her through a doorway, a quick kiss on her neck that lingers just a moment too long. These little acts of intimacy create a crescendo of desire. They're not about rushing to the final act but about savoring every step along the way. Conversation, too, plays a role in the art of seduction. Words can be as powerful as touch when used with care. Compliments, when genuine, have a way of breaking down walls and making her feel beautiful in her own skin. Tell her what you find irresistible about her, whether it's the way her smile lights up a room or how she laughs with abandon. Be specific and sincere, because generic flattery is easily forgotten, but a compliment that speaks to her soul lingers long after the words have been spoken. As the moments pass and the intimacy deepens, seduction becomes less about what you're doing and more about how you're doing it. Kiss her like you mean it, not just on her lips, but on her neck, her shoulders, and every inch of skin that invites your attention. Let your lips linger, let your breath warm her skin, and let the rhythm of your movements mirror the rising heat between you. Use your hands to explore her body, not with the urgency of someone rushing to a destination but with the curiosity of someone savoring the journey. Listening is an often overlooked aspect of seduction, but it's one of the most important. Pay attention to her reactions, not just what she says, but how her body responds. Does she lean into your touch, or does she pull back slightly? Does her breathing quicken, or does she pause, waiting for more? These signals are your guide, telling you what she enjoys and what she desires more of. Seduction is not a one-sided act. It's a dialogue between two people, spoken in the language of touch, movement, and unspoken understanding. Building anticipation is another secret weapon. When you know she's eager for more, hold back just a little. Give her a taste of what's to come and then retreat, letting her desire grow. It's in the moments of waiting, the pauses between touches, that the most intense longing is created. When you finally give in to her unspoken plea, the pleasure is magnified because she's been waiting, yearning, and imagining. Seduction is also about showing vulnerability. Let her see that you're just as drawn to her as she is to you. Let her feel the intensity of your desire, not through words alone but through your actions. Pull her closer, hold her tighter, and kiss her deeper. These acts of passion show her that she's not just a fleeting fancy but someone who truly captivates you. The dance of seduction is not a one-size-fits-all routine. Every woman is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. The key is to stay present, to remain attuned to her needs and desires, and to let the moment guide you. Seduction is a journey, not a destination, and its beauty lies in the unfolding of pleasure, one step at a time. By the time the night comes to its crescendo, the passion you've built together will feel natural, effortless, and deeply satisfying. Seduction is not about manipulation or control, it's about connection, trust, and the mutual sharing of desire. When done with care and intention, it creates a bond that lingers long after the moment has passed, leaving both of you longing for the next dance of pleasure. Chapter 4. Giving her the ultimate sexual pleasure. Pleasuring a woman is an art that combines attentiveness, communication, and a genuine desire to connect on a deeper level. To give her the ultimate sexual pleasure, it's important to understand that intimacy is not just about physical gratification, it's about creating an experience where she feels adored, respected, and truly seen. The journey to her pleasure begins long before any physical act, rooted in emotional connection, trust, and anticipation. Setting the stage for intimacy is crucial. Women often feel more aroused and open to pleasure when their emotional needs are met. A kind word, a lingering look, or a touch on her hand can ignite feelings of connection and desire. Take time to notice the small things about her, the way her eyes sparkle when she's happy, the way she laughs, the subtle shifts in her mood. These observations show her that you are truly present and invested, making her feel valued. When she feels cherished outside of the bedroom, it naturally translates to a deeper level of intimacy within it. Communication is another cornerstone of giving her pleasure. Every woman is different, and her body responds uniquely. Ask her what she likes, what makes her feel good, and listen attentively. These conversations don't have to be clinical or awkward, they can be playful, whispered in moments of closeness, or shared as part of an intimate pillow talk. Let her know that her pleasure matters to you, and that you are eager to learn and explore what makes her feel incredible. Foreplay is not a step to be rushed, it's an experience to be savored. Many women find foreplay to be the most crucial part of their arousal process, as it builds anticipation and enhances sensitivity. Start with gentle, affectionate touches that gradually become more purposeful. Trace your fingers along her arms, her back, or her neck, lingering on areas that make her shiver with delight. Kiss her slowly, taking time to explore her lips and the curve of her neck. A kiss, when done with genuine passion, can send ripples of pleasure through her body. Pay attention to her reactions, her breath, the way she moves, or the sounds she makes. These are her way of guiding you, even if she isn't using words. Explore her body with patience and curiosity, discovering the spots that bring her the most pleasure. The back of her neck, her ears, her inner thighs, these areas often hold the key to heightening her arousal. Don't rush through these moments. Let her feel your desire and admiration in every touch. Oral pleasure can be a deeply intimate and rewarding way to connect. Approach it with a sense of reverence, letting her know through your actions that her pleasure is your priority. Use your lips, tongue, and even gentle breath to explore her in a way that feels natural and intuitive. Slow, deliberate movements, varying rhythms, and the willingness to respond to her cues can create sensations that are both electrifying and deeply satisfying. Pay attention to her responses and let her body guide you. This is her moment, and your role is to help her enjoy it fully. When the time comes for intercourse, remember that rhythm, connection, and mutual pleasure are more important than any single act or position. Eye contact, whispered words of encouragement, and gentle touches can create an experience that feels deeply personal and connected. Start slow, allowing both of you to sync with each other's rhythm and needs. Be attuned to her body, adjusting as needed to ensure her comfort and pleasure. Giving her pleasure is also about being confident but not forceful, assertive but not overwhelming. Confidence shows her that you are comfortable with your own body and hers, which can help her relax and let go. However, it's equally important to remain open to her guidance and feedback. Let her set the pace, and if she expresses a need or preference, embrace it wholeheartedly. Aftercare is an often overlooked aspect of intimacy, but it's essential for creating a complete and fulfilling experience. After the peak of passion, hold her, kiss her, and let her feel the warmth of your presence. This is a moment of vulnerability for both of you, and showing her tenderness and care reinforces the trust and connection you've built. The ultimate sexual pleasure isn't about technique alone. It's about intention, awareness, and the willingness to immerse yourself in the experience of loving her completely. By being present, attentive, and genuinely invested in her happiness, you create a space where she feels free to explore and enjoy her desires without inhibition. Her pleasure becomes a shared journey, one that deepens your bond and enriches your connection. When you approach intimacy with this level of care and respect, you aren't just giving her pleasure, you're giving her the gift of feeling truly loved and valued. And in return, the connection you build will elevate your own experience, creating a partnership that thrives both inside and outside the bedroom. Chapter 5. Emotional Connection and Sex, the Heart of Intimacy. Sex becomes truly meaningful when it is more than just a physical act. Emotional connection is the invisible thread that ties two people together, making intimacy not only satisfying but transformative. Without this connection, sex can feel empty or mechanical, lacking the depth that brings lasting fulfillment. Emotional intimacy is about trust, vulnerability, and understanding. It's about letting someone see the real you and feeling safe enough to explore the most intimate parts of yourself with them. Building emotional connection starts long before the clothes come off. It begins with shared moments of tenderness, laughing together, holding hands, or even just locking eyes in a way that speaks volumes. It's the way your partner touches your arm when they're excited or the way they lean into you when they're feeling vulnerable. These seemingly small gestures create a foundation of trust and comfort, setting the stage for deeper physical intimacy. When someone feels emotionally secure, they can open themselves up in ways that make sex more fulfilling for both partners. For many, sex is about more than just the body. It's a conversation of the heart. It's in the way you look at each other, the whispers shared in the dark, and the willingness to be present in the moment. Emotional connection means paying attention to your partner's needs, not just their physical desires but the emotions driving them. When you take the time to ask questions like, "What makes you feel loved?" or "What do you want to explore together?" you're diving deeper than surface-level pleasure. Foreplay, often thought of as physical, can be deeply emotional when infused with connection. Foreplay starts with how you treat each other throughout the day. A loving text, an affectionate kiss, or a compliment that shows you notice them as a whole person creates a buildup of anticipation. It's the sense of knowing that your partner doesn't just want your body, they want you. This emotional foreplay lays the groundwork for sex that feels like a natural extension of your bond. Vulnerability is another cornerstone of emotional connection. Sex is an act of exposure, both physically and emotionally. It's about standing before someone without masks or defenses and saying, "This is me." When both partners embrace vulnerability, they create a safe space where they can explore desires, fears, and fantasies without judgment. This openness allows intimacy to flourish. Whether it's sharing insecurities or admitting a fantasy, every honest conversation strengthens the emotional bond, making the physical connection even more electrifying. For women especially, emotional connection often plays a critical role in sexual satisfaction. Feeling cherished, valued, and understood can heighten arousal and deepen the pleasure of intimacy. For men, emotional intimacy can be just as important, even if it's expressed differently. It's about creating a space where both partners feel seen and loved, a place where performance takes a back seat to genuine connection. During sex, emotional intimacy can transform simple touch into something profound. A kiss on the neck becomes an affirmation of love. A hand on the back becomes a reassurance of safety. The way you move together becomes a silent conversation of trust and desire. Emotional connection enhances sensitivity, making every sensation feel more intense and meaningful. It's the difference between touching someone and feeling them. Communication is essential to maintaining this connection. Talking about what feels good, what doesn't, and what you both desire can bring you closer. But emotional connection goes beyond the bedroom. It's built in the quiet moments when you're just lying together, sharing your thoughts, or simply enjoying each other's presence. These moments of closeness foster a bond that carries over into your sexual relationship, making every encounter richer and more fulfilling. Sometimes, life stresses can create barriers to emotional connection. Busy schedules, unresolved arguments, or personal insecurities can make it hard to feel close to your partner. In these moments, it's essential to prioritize each other. Setting aside time for meaningful conversations, date nights, or even just cuddling on the couch can rekindle the connection. When emotional intimacy is nurtured, it naturally spills over into physical intimacy, making both partners feel more aligned and fulfilled. Trust is perhaps the most vital ingredient in emotional connection. Trust means knowing your partner respects you, values your boundaries, and has your best interests at heart. It means feeling confident that you can be yourself without fear of rejection. Trust allows you to relax and fully immerse yourself in the experience of being with someone. When trust is present, sex becomes a celebration of that bond, a way to honor the connection you've built together. For some, building emotional connection might take time, especially if past experiences have left scars. Patience and understanding are key. By focusing on creating a safe, loving environment, you can help your partner let down their guard and truly open up. Emotional connection isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about showing up as you are and accepting your partner for who they are. When emotional connection and sex intertwine, the result is intimacy that goes beyond the physical. It's about feeling like your partner is not just beside you but truly with you. It's about creating moments that leave you both breathless, not just from passion, but from the depth of your bond. Emotional connection turns sex into something sacred, a celebration of love, trust, and vulnerability. It's the realization that intimacy is not just about the act itself, but about the emotions it evokes, the laughter, the tears, the shared sense of wonder. By prioritizing emotional connection, you create a sexual relationship that isn't just about pleasure but about creating memories, deepening love, and strengthening the bond that makes life worth sharing. Chapter 6: Exploring Sexual Fantasies Together. Sexual fantasies are one of the most intimate and personal aspects of our desires. They can range from a fleeting thought to a vivid, recurring dream of scenarios that ignite excitement within us. Yet, for many, fantasies remain locked away, hidden even from the partners we share our lives and beds with. This chapter invites you to open that door, not with fear or judgment, but with curiosity and an eagerness to explore the depths of intimacy together. Every person carries fantasies, shaped by personal experiences, imagination, or fleeting moments of inspiration. They are not shameful. They are part of the vibrant tapestry that makes us human. Sharing these thoughts with your partner can feel daunting at first. It's natural to worry about being judged or misunderstood, but when done with love and trust, revealing fantasies can bring a couple closer than ever. A shared fantasy can become a playground where boundaries soften, creativity thrives, and passion flourishes. The first step in exploring fantasies together is creating a safe space where honesty can bloom. This isn't about staging a serious, high-stakes conversation, it's about inviting openness in a way that feels natural. Perhaps it starts with a casual comment during a quiet evening or a playful question whispered in bed. Phrasing like, asterisk, have you ever thought about something that really excites you? Asterisk or asterisk, wouldn't it be fun to imagine trying something new together? Asterisk can break the ice gently. As the conversation unfolds, listening is just as important as sharing. When your partner opens up, lean into their words without interrupting or reacting too quickly. A small smile, a nod, or a soft affirmation like, "That sounds interesting," reassures them that they're safe to be vulnerable. Even if their fantasy surprises you or isn't something you immediately resonate with, showing acceptance builds trust and strengthens your bond. When you share your own fantasies, consider starting with something you feel most comfortable discussing. Testing the waters with a lighter or more playful scenario can make it easier to gauge your partner's reaction. For instance, describing a desire to roleplay as strangers meeting at a bar might feel less intimidating than revealing a deeply personal or unconventional fantasy. Building confidence in these conversations takes time, so be patient with yourself and your partner. Once the air is filled with possibilities, the next step is figuring out how to bring fantasies to life in a way that feels exciting but not overwhelming. Not every fantasy needs to be acted on. Some are thrilling precisely because they exist in the realm of imagination. But for those you both feel ready to explore, small, thoughtful steps can make all the difference. If one partner dreams of being blindfolded during intimacy, for example, start with a scarf over the eyes and let the experience grow naturally from there. The beauty of exploring fantasies lies in the collaborative nature of it. It's not about one person dictating the script. It's about co-creating an experience that brings joy to both of you. This means respecting boundaries at every turn. If a particular idea feels too much for one partner, it's okay to pause and revisit it later, or perhaps reimagine the fantasy in a way that feels comfortable. For instance, if the idea of public play feels too risky, recreating a similar dynamic in private might be just as thrilling. A crucial element of bringing fantasies to life is the atmosphere you create. Lighting candles, playing sensual music, or dressing the space in a way that evokes the fantasy can set the mood and ease any nerves. These small details are not just embellishments. They are the cues that help immerse you both into a shared dreamscape. It's in these moments that connection deepens, as you realize you're stepping into something uniquely yours. Exploring fantasies also nurtures a sense of playful experimentation. It's an opportunity to shed inhibitions, laugh together when things don't go as planned, and celebrate the fun of trying something new. There's no need for perfection here. The magic lies in the willingness to explore and the joy of doing it with someone you trust. Over time, this openness can evolve into a natural rhythm within your relationship. Fantasies may shift or grow more adventurous as your connection deepens. This is a reminder that sexual exploration isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing journey. Staying curious about each other ensures that the spark of excitement continues to burn brightly, no matter how long you've been together. It's also important to recognize that not every fantasy will lead to an earth-shattering experience, and that's okay. The real gift of sharing fantasies is the vulnerability it fosters. It's about revealing a piece of yourself and knowing that your partner cherishes it, even if it stays in the realm of imagination. Above all, exploring fantasies together is about celebrating each other's desires. It's a way of saying, "I see you, and I want to share this with you." It's an act of intimacy that goes beyond the physical, weaving your connection into something even richer and more profound. When you open yourselves to this level of honesty and playfulness, you create a relationship that is alive with passion, curiosity, and unshakable trust. Sexual fantasies are not just about the act. They are about permission, the permission to dream, to desire, and to explore. By embracing this side of your relationship, you not only deepen your intimacy but also honor the vibrant, dynamic energy that makes sex so deeply human. In this space, where judgment fades and acceptance flourishes, you'll find the true essence of why really sex matters. Chapter 7. The Language of Touch in Sex. Touch is one of the most intimate and powerful languages we have when it comes to sex. It's through touch that we communicate our deepest desires, fears, and emotions. Whether it's the gentle caress of a hand or the passionate grip of a lover's embrace, the way we touch each other speaks volumes. In a world where words can sometimes fail, touch becomes the ultimate expression of intimacy. It creates a bond that goes beyond the physical act of sex, tapping into the emotional and psychological connection between partners. When two people come together sexually, it's not just about the end goal or reaching orgasm. The journey of intimacy, the way bodies intertwine, the slow buildup of anticipation, the warmth that comes with being close is just as important. The way we touch, explore, and communicate through our hands and skin sets the tone for the entire experience. It can be a simple brush of the arm or a lingering touch that sends shivers down the spine, signaling desire and tenderness. Touch is the first step in expressing love, lust, and care for one another. To truly understand the language of touch, we need to recognize that it's not just about physical contact, but also about the energy behind it. The intent behind a touch speaks louder than the touch itself. When someone caresses you slowly, deliberately, with intention, you can feel the difference. It's not the speed or force of the touch that matters most, it's the thought, the meaning behind it. A soft touch can make someone feel safe and desired, while a firmer grip can heighten arousal and excitement. The key to using touch effectively in sex is being present in the moment. This means paying attention to the way your partner responds to your touch and adjusting accordingly. The beauty of touch is that it is constantly evolving, just like the connection between two people. In one moment, you may want to explore your partner's body with light, teasing caresses, while in another, you may crave a more passionate and urgent connection. The way you read each other's bodies, how you react to the energy between you, becomes the dance that makes sex so powerful. For women, touch often plays a critical role in feeling desired and understood. Unlike men, who may respond more immediately to visual stimuli or direct stimulation, many women are more attuned to the emotional and physical sensations that come with slow, deliberate touch. The way a partner touches her neck, her back, or even her hands can make her feel loved and wanted. Sometimes, it's the tender strokes along her arms or the way your fingers trace her jawline that makes her feel deeply connected to you. These touches are a language of their own, saying everything without a single word being spoken. One of the most important aspects of touch in sex is understanding the balance between gentleness and intensity. Gentle, slow touches allow you to savor the moment, to get lost in the sensations of each caress. This type of touch can be incredibly intimate, helping to build trust and emotional closeness. It can also help prepare the body for deeper, more intense physicality. As arousal builds, the intensity of touch can shift. Moving from soft strokes to firmer grips and more insistent touches can elevate the passion, creating a rhythm that mirrors the building tension in the body. Touch is also about exploring each other's bodies without a predetermined goal. It's not just about getting to the point of orgasm. It's about understanding and discovering every curve, every muscle, and every sensitive spot. A simple touch on the inner thigh or the small of her back can ignite sensations that lead to more intense pleasure. But the key is to be patient, to take time to explore without rushing to the finish line. This allows both partners to feel seen and appreciated, as though every part of their body is worth discovering. It also helps to build an emotional connection that can last far beyond the physical encounter. Communication through touch goes both ways. A lover's body language can tell you just as much as the touch itself. If your partner shivers when your fingers run along their spine, it's a sign that something is working. If they pull away or tense up when you touch a certain spot, that's valuable information too. This is why touch is such a powerful tool. It allows both partners to express their desires, to communicate non-verbally about what feels good and what doesn't. As you continue to explore each other's bodies, You'll start to develop an intuitive understanding of what your partner likes. It becomes a dance of give and take, of adjusting to each other's rhythms, of constantly learning how to please one another in new and exciting ways. It's also essential to recognize that touch is not just about the places that are traditionally associated with sex, like the breasts or genitals. Sometimes, the most sensual touches can happen in unexpected areas of the body. A kiss on the inner wrist, a gentle trace along the back of the neck, a soft massage of the feet. These are the kinds of touches that can stir desire without ever needing to go straight to the main event. These tender gestures are often what build up the anticipation, creating an atmosphere of intimacy and excitement that can make the actual act of sex feel even more profound. In any sexual encounter, mutual respect for each other's boundaries is crucial. Touching in a way that feels right for both partners is what makes the experience truly satisfying. Consent and communication are the foundations that support the language of touch. When both people are comfortable and open to exploring each other's bodies, that's when sex becomes a fully immersive experience, where every touch has meaning and every movement brings a deeper connection. Touch is the language that transcends words. It is an expression of who we are, how we feel, and how we connect with those we love. In sex, it can be the most honest and vulnerable form of communication, allowing us to express our desires, our passion, and our care. The next time you're with your partner, take a moment to focus on your touch. Let it guide you both through the experience and see where it takes you. The right touch at the right time can transform a good sexual experience into something unforgettable. Chapter 8: Overcoming Sexual Challenges Together. Sexual intimacy is an essential part of any relationship, but like any aspect of life, it comes with its fair share of challenges. These challenges can vary greatly from couple to couple, but the important thing is how partners work together to navigate them. Every relationship is different, and so are the struggles that arise. Sometimes, the issues are physical libido mismatches, difficulty reaching climax, or lack of satisfaction. Other times, they are emotional issues such as feeling disconnected, overwhelmed by stress, or simply not communicating well with each other. The key to overcoming these challenges is not to face them alone but to approach them together, with understanding, patience, and a willingness to communicate openly. One of the most common issues couples face in the bedroom is mismatched libidos. This often happens when one partner feels the need for intimacy more frequently than the other. It can create feelings of frustration, confusion, and even resentment if not addressed properly. For instance, one partner might feel rejected or undesired if the other is not interested in sex as often. On the flip side, the partner with the lower libido might feel overwhelmed or pressured, which can make the situation worse. The first step in overcoming this issue is acknowledging it without shame. Libido differences are common, and they don't necessarily reflect a lack of love or attraction. It's important to approach the situation with empathy, understanding that both partners are dealing with their own desires and feelings is crucial. For instance, the partner with the higher libido might need to learn how to be patient, while the one with the lower libido might need to find ways to open up about their reasons for not feeling as interested in sex. The solution here is communication. Talking openly about sexual needs, desires, and even worries can bring both partners closer. It's also essential to make sure that both individuals feel heard and respected in these conversations. It's not about forcing one partner into compliance, but finding a middle ground where both feel comfortable. Some couples may find that increasing emotional intimacy outside the bedroom enhances their connection inside it. Taking the time to focus on each other emotionally can reignite physical desire and create a more fulfilling sex life for both. In some cases, scheduling intimacy might even work. Though it may sound less spontaneous, having a set time to connect intimately can reduce the pressure and allow each partner to prepare emotionally and physically. Another challenge many couples face is the inability to reach climax or experience sexual satisfaction. This can create frustration for both partners. Often, the person who isn't reaching orgasm feels inadequate or unfulfilled, while the partner who is unable to help them feel frustrated and unsure of what to do. The pressure to reach climax can itself be a barrier to enjoying the experience. The key to addressing this issue is to focus less on the destination and more on the journey. For one, it's important for both partners to communicate about what feels good. People's bodies are unique, and what works for one person might not work for another. In this case, patience is essential. Trying different approaches, exploring new forms of touch, or experimenting with different positions can often open the door to new experiences. It's also important to recognize that climax isn't the only marker of a successful sexual experience. Many couples find that focusing on intimacy, tenderness, and mutual pleasure leads to more fulfilling encounters, regardless of whether or not orgasm is achieved. Sexual challenges can also stem from emotional barriers. Sometimes, emotional distance or unresolved conflicts can make intimacy difficult. If there's tension in a relationship, it's hard to relax and feel open during sex. Issues like stress, anxiety, or past trauma can also affect a person's ability to engage in sex fully. When these emotional barriers are present, they can create a feeling of disconnection during intimacy. The first step in overcoming emotional challenges is to address them outside the bedroom. A couple must work together to rebuild trust and open communication. Creating a safe space for each other to talk about feelings both positive and negative can help heal emotional wounds. Being vulnerable with each other, both in and out of the bedroom, strengthens the bond and creates a more authentic connection. Some couples may even find it helpful to seek professional guidance, such as therapy, to work through deeper emotional issues. A major factor that affects sexual intimacy is stress. Life pressures, whether it's work, family obligations, or personal concerns, can take a toll on the desire for sex. When the mind is preoccupied with worries, it's hard to relax enough to fully engage in the moment. This is where creating a calming, stress-free environment comes into play. Setting aside time to reconnect and unwind without distractions can help both partners relax and enjoy intimacy. Taking a break from daily stressors and focusing on each other can bring a sense of peace and closeness, which in turn helps reignite sexual desire. If stress is a recurring issue, couples may need to develop stress management strategies together, like practicing mindfulness, yoga, or even simple breathing exercises to help calm the mind and body before engaging in sex. There's also the matter of sexual routine. Over time, the initial excitement and novelty of a relationship can fade, leaving couples feeling as though their sex life is predictable or mechanical. To keep things fresh, it's important to keep experimenting and introducing new elements into the relationship. Trying new positions, exploring different forms of intimacy, or even having honest discussions about fantasies can breathe new life into the sexual aspect of a relationship. Being open to trying new things without judgment can help both partners feel more connected and enthusiastic about their sex life. Ultimately, the key to overcoming sexual challenges is teamwork. The couple must work together to ensure both partners feel valued, heard, and respected. By communicating openly and honestly about their desires, feelings, and frustrations, couples can build stronger, more fulfilling sexual relationships. Patience, empathy, and a willingness to explore each other's needs will allow them to work through the challenges that arise and find new ways to connect intimately. Sexual intimacy, at its best, is not just about pleasure, it's about creating a deeper, more meaningful connection with the person you love. And when you face challenges together, your bond becomes stronger in bed. Chapter 9. Keeping sex alive in long-term relationships. Sex in a long-term relationship can be challenging to maintain at the same intensity it once had. The early days of passion and spontaneity often give way to routines, responsibilities, and sometimes even the comfort of familiarity. Yet, sex is an essential part of maintaining emotional closeness and intimacy between partners. The question becomes, how do we keep it alive and vibrant even after the honeymoon phase has passed? The answer lies in connection, communication, and intentionality. First, it's important to acknowledge that the desire for sex can fluctuate in any long-term relationship. Life changes. New jobs, children, financial pressures, and health issues all play a role in how we feel about intimacy. However, the key is not to let these challenges become barriers to sexual connection but instead to view them as opportunities to grow together. When couples face difficulties, it's easy for sex to be pushed aside, but it's crucial to remember that keeping the sexual spark alive is a choice, one that requires effort from both partners. One of the most effective ways to keep sex alive is by nurturing the emotional connection with your partner. Emotional intimacy often gets overshadowed by the physical act of sex, but without the former, the latter can become mechanical. Take time to cultivate emotional closeness, whether that means having regular conversations about your day, sharing your thoughts and dreams, or simply spending time together without distractions. When partners feel emotionally connected, they are more likely to desire each other sexually. Sex becomes less about the physical act and more about expressing love, trust, and affection. Physical affection plays a significant role in maintaining desire, but it's not just about jumping into bed. Non-sexual touch can be incredibly powerful in maintaining a sense of closeness. Simple acts like holding hands, hugging, or kissing each other goodbye in the morning can keep the physical connection alive, especially during the busyness of daily life. These small gestures reinforce intimacy and remind each other that there is more to the relationship than just the demands of work and home life. Sometimes, the more we focus on these little moments of affection, the more the desire for deeper intimacy grows. Another critical element is communication. Being open about your sexual needs, fantasies, and desires can seem intimidating, but it is one of the most important things a couple can do to keep their sex life exciting. Over time, both partners may have different experiences, and the things that once excited you may not feel the same way anymore. Talking about what you like, what feels good, and what turns you on can bring you closer. It also allows you to explore new territory together, which keeps things fresh. This conversation doesn't have to be formal. It can happen naturally, when you're in bed, during a quiet moment, or even in the middle of a playful exchange. It's also essential to embrace change within your sexual dynamic. Just because you were once sexually adventurous doesn't mean you have to stop exploring as a couple. Life stages, body changes, and shifts in desire are natural, but that doesn't mean the fun has to end. In fact, it can be a time for both partners to rediscover what they enjoy together. Trying new things, whether it's a different position, exploring new fantasies, or even reading erotica together, can reignite the spark. Playfulness is a significant part of any relationship, including sexual ones, and embracing the lighter side of intimacy can lead to powerful experiences. Moreover, it's crucial to prioritize sex within your relationship. The demands of life can sometimes make sex seem like an afterthought, but when it's not prioritized, it can be easy to let it slip further down the list. Make time for each other, even if it means scheduling intimacy. It may feel unromantic at first, but when both partners are actively making space for sexual connection, it shifts the dynamic. The goal isn't to make sex feel like a task, but rather to honor the importance of physical connection, making it a shared priority. Additionally, sexual confidence plays a significant role in keeping sex alive in long-term relationships. Over time, insecurities can creep in, whether due to aging, body changes, or personal doubts. These insecurities can affect your ability to fully enjoy the experience of intimacy. That's why it's so important to work on body acceptance and confidence, both individually and as a couple. Complement each other regularly, not just on appearance but also on the things that make your partner feel desirable. Positive reinforcement can boost confidence and help both partners feel more comfortable in their sexual skin. Intimacy in long-term relationships often requires a deeper level of vulnerability. When you've been with someone for years, you've likely already shown them many facets of who you are. However, when it comes to sex, being open about your desires and needs, without judgment or fear of rejection, can lead to richer, more fulfilling experiences. Vulnerability creates a safe space where both partners feel comfortable exploring each other's bodies and fantasies without feeling pressured to meet unrealistic expectations. This openness is where the real magic of intimacy happens. Finally, remember that sex doesn't always have to be mind-blowing to be meaningful. Sometimes, the most intimate moments come from simply being present with each other. There will be times when sex is slow, tender, and quiet, but these moments are just as important as the passionate ones. Don't measure your sex life by fireworks alone sometimes. The best experiences are the simple, loving ones that reinforce your bond. In long-term relationships, keeping sex alive takes effort, creativity, and care. It's not about maintaining the same level of intensity as in the beginning, but rather about evolving together, communicating openly, and always prioritizing each other's desires. The journey of keeping sex alive is about being in tune with each other's needs, staying playful, and never losing sight of the emotional and physical connection that made you fall in love in the first place. When you both choose to keep the sexual spark alive, your relationship will be richer, deeper, and more fulfilling. Chapter 10. Embracing your own sexual power. Sexual power is something many people shy away from. We often hear about it in hushed tones or see it portrayed as something that belongs to someone else, someone confident, attractive, and uninhibited. However, the truth is, sexual power exists within each of us. It's not about fitting a specific mold or living up to an external image of what sexual confidence should look like. It's about fully embracing who you are, understanding what brings you pleasure, and feeling secure enough to share that with others. To embrace your sexual power, you must first become attuned to your own body and desires. The first step is shedding the layers of shame or insecurity that have been built up over time. We live in a world where so much of sex is shrouded in embarrassment or repression, especially for women. From a young age, many people are taught to be modest or even ashamed of their sexual feelings. This cultural conditioning leads many to believe that sexuality is something to be hidden or suppressed rather than celebrated and explored. But the truth is, you are worthy of pleasure, just as much as anyone else. Your body is yours, and your sexual energy is a beautiful and natural part of who you are. This journey starts with self-awareness. It's about knowing what feels good to you, what excites you, and how to communicate those needs to a partner. For many, the path to sexual empowerment involves learning to break free from preconceived ideas about what sex should be like. It's not about performing for someone else. It's about exploring and experiencing joy on your own terms. The more you connect with your body, the more you understand its desires, and the less shame you carry with you. Self-exploration is a key part of this process. Masturbation is an act that is often fraught with guilt, especially for women, yet it's one of the most important ways to understand your own body. When you take time to explore your own pleasure, you gain insights into what feels good. You also learn about the rhythms of your own arousal and how you can tap into that energy, whether you're alone or with a partner. This knowledge is powerful. It gives you the confidence to ask for what you want, and it empowers you to express your needs without hesitation. Knowing your own body makes you more in control of your sexual experiences, which translates into a more fulfilling relationship with yourself and others. Once you begin to embrace your own pleasure, it's easier to embrace the sexual power within you. You no longer see sex as something to be done for someone else's satisfaction. It becomes a shared experience of mutual enjoyment and connection. Your sexuality isn't something you'd give away to please someone. It's something you bring into a relationship where it can be shared, enjoyed, and celebrated by both people involved. This mindset shift is essential in building a healthy sexual dynamic. When you approach sex with this sense of ownership over your desires, you stop worrying about being perfect. It's not about performing, it's about being present and enjoying the moment. Sexual power isn't about how many partners you've had or how often you have sex. It's about knowing your worth and feeling confident in your own skin. The more you feel comfortable in your body and with your own desires, the more you're able to share that with others. Confidence is magnetic, and that energy attracts more of what you want, whether it's a deeper connection with a partner or a more fulfilling sexual experience. Sexual empowerment also means letting go of unrealistic expectations. Often, we are told by movies, books, and even our friends that there is a certain way sex should look. But the reality is that every person's sexual experience is unique. There is no right or wrong way to experience pleasure, as long as it is consensual and respectful. Embracing your sexual power means letting go of comparison. It's about recognizing that your sexual journey doesn't need to match anyone else's. Your path is yours to define, and that's a powerful thing. One of the key aspects of embracing your sexual power is understanding the importance of communication. Many people struggle with expressing their desires, often due to fear of judgment or rejection. But clear, open communication is essential to creating a satisfying sexual experience for both people involved. By being honest about what you want, need, and enjoy, you set the tone for a healthy and enjoyable sexual relationship. This isn't just about physical satisfaction, it's about emotional intimacy too. When you communicate openly about your needs and desires, you create a deeper level of trust with your partner. It allows both of you to let go of insecurities and enjoy each other's company without the pressure of expectations. Sexual power also comes from the freedom to say no. Sometimes, the most empowering thing you can do is to not engage in sex if it doesn't feel right for you. Understanding your boundaries and being able to communicate them clearly is an essential part of sexual empowerment. The ability to say no with confidence is just as important as the ability to say yes. It shows that you respect yourself, your desires, and your needs, and that you are not willing to settle for anything less than what you truly want. Embracing your sexual power ultimately leads to a more fulfilling and authentic connection with others. When you stop hiding parts of yourself, especially those that are related to your sexuality, you invite deeper intimacy into your life. You no longer feel the need to suppress parts of who you are for fear of rejection or misunderstanding. Instead, you welcome your sexuality as a vital and dynamic part of your life. You are not defined by the opinions of others or societal expectations. You are a person who deserves love, pleasure, and respect, and that includes embracing your own sexual power. This process of embracing your sexual power is ongoing. It doesn't happen overnight. But as you continue to explore, learn, and express your desires, you build a stronger connection to your body and yourself. It's a journey towards sexual liberation, and one that ultimately leads to more satisfaction, connection, and joy in all areas of your life. When you embrace your sexual power, you embrace yourself. And when you embrace yourself, you open the door to a deeper, more fulfilling life, one where sex is not just an act, but a celebration of everything that makes you whole.